First of all, congratulations for choosing the 31-man squad that will travel to Japan for the Rugby World Cup. How difficult a process was that for you?
Well, it's been a challenge because we've had a lot of quality players available for us in training and our games. But as soon as we finished the selection discussion on Sunday morning, we were really pleased with the squad we put together. We know that there are some very good players that have missed out, but when you look right throughout the squad, we've got players that are in very good form, that have taken opportunities for Scotland, whether it's just in the last few games or in the last couple of seasons. Players that work really hard for each other, players that have an edge, a will to win, and that's a great combination when you go to a tournament like a World Cup.
You've gone for a 17-14 split between the forwards and the backs. Was always the plan to have that split, or did any injuries change your thinking there?
The original plan was 18-13. I think that's what Danny Wilson, our forwards coach, was pushing all summer. And we always knew that we'd get to the discussion of, right, will that work? 18-13 allows you to rest one forward. 17-14 allows one back to be rested if you have to play 2 games in a week, which will be the case when we go between Russia and Japan. I think the injury to Tam Skinner got us certainly talking more about combinations and blends and what we need in the back row and the second row. And a couple of backs are just coming back from injury. So Sam Johnson had missed a chunk of games and Duncan Taylor had missed a couple of games too. So in the end, we believe 14 backs gives us a really good cover, and with some of the forwards being able to play across the back row, 17 is a good number too.
And looking at the team overall, you've chosen 13 players who have previous Rugby World Cup experience. How important of an element is that for you?
Well, it's important. They've been to a tournament. Probably less relevant given that the last tournament was in the UK. This will be new for every player. No one's been to a World Cup in Japan before. Some countries have played in Japan. Some players have played in Japan. We're lucky that a fair majority of our group, I believe, were on the tour to Japan a couple of years ago. So they have experienced what living in Japan is like, what the conditions are like, and playing against Japan, who are one of our opponents. I think the experience of the group is a bonus in general. There's a lot of players that have played 20, 30, 60 times for Scotland, and that really helps. Nothing will faze them. And the players that maybe haven't played as much for Scotland certainly have taken the game to the opposition whenever they've had a chance. So we believe we've got a confident group, a group that will lead on the field, lead in meetings, and that's really important because coaches can't do much to influence a game once we get closer to kick-off.
You mentioned leading on the field, and you've gone with Stuart McInally as captain for Scotland in the 2019 Rugby World Cup. We've talked before about the extensive leadership group you now have there, so what made you go with Stuart as captain?
Well, Stuart's done a really good job on the opportunities he's been captain for Scotland. He captained Edinburgh this year. He is a real lead by example player, both at training and in games. He's a calming person. He brings others into meetings, into talks, which I believe is really important when you see the other leaders that we have in the team. We have Greg Laidlaw and John Barclay have captained the side on a number of occasions. We have leaders of different parts of our game, whether that's Finn Russell in attack, Stuart Hogg in attack as well, Grant Gilchrist, Johnny Gray who lead the line out. So Stuart is a person, a leader that brings the best out of others, and it was great to see the leadership group work so well last week in Georgia. So the whole week they drove the detail, drove the standards required to get a winning performance out in Georgia, and then on the field I thought they worked really well together.
Just looking at the group as a whole, we obviously have to omit players. You can't take everyone. What do you say to the players then that unfortunately haven't made the cut for the World Cup?
Well, there's not much you can say. You've got to get to the point quickly and say you've missed out in selection. These are the reasons why. If there are outstanding reasons, so at least the players know there are things that they can work on whenever they get the chance to play for Scotland again. But also those conversations end with a positive and an agreement to keep working hard, because opportunities may come around very quickly. We had, 8 players that missed out. On average, I think it's 6 or 7 injuries most teams get during the World Cup. So within a number of weeks, the players that have received those phone calls, 1 or 2 of them might be joining us. And we're delighted with the squad, but also we're very confident that anybody we call up are going to continue the quality and the standards that the squad have set. These players have trained with us over the last few weeks. They've played well for us. So if they do get the call up, we know we'll still have a very strong squad in Japan.
First up, it's Ireland. It's going to be a tough game there, but going past that and moving forward into the World Cup, what is the expectation you set on yourself and the team during the 2019 Rugby World Cup?
Well, the goal and the expectation is to play our best rugby. And I firmly believe when we play our best rugby, we can be a match for any team in the world and beat any team in the world. So the process is getting to play our best rugby on September the 22nd against Ireland and continuing that for as long as we can. We've been working hard throughout this summer to be in the best physical shape we can possibly be in. And I believe that we're the fittest team going into a World Cup. We've seen it with our fitness tests, with what we get back from our GPS and our tracking, and we know what other countries do. We are the fittest team going into the World Cup. Now, transferring that into a game that puts pressure on opposition, that outworks opposition, is sometimes not as easy as we'd like, but we've certainly seen that transition coming clear over the last couple of games. Another game this weekend will help that process. Some intense training sessions out in Nagasaki first of all, and then getting to Yokohama should get us in a great position to take on Ireland.
And just finally, a note on Georgia this weekend. It's the last game in our warm-up game. Another challenge at BT Murrayfield. Yeah,
and we're expecting a big crowd, which is fantastic. It was amazing to have a full house behind us for the France game, and the energy the crowd give us is great. At the weekend out in Georgia, we had to take away the energy that the Georgian team got from the home support. Now we've got to use the energy we get from the crowd. Start strong, continue the high standards and that professional job we did last week against a very motivated team. And for the group of players, it's an opportunity for them to show that they should be selected in our first game against Ireland. An opportunity for a number of players to play for the first time for a couple of them, and to really leave Edinburgh, leave Scotland the weekend with another step forward in terms of our improvements and our goal of playing our best rugby come September the 22nd.